Hello, geometry class. So, as you probably can tell, I'm not there, and I probably won't be your teacher for the remaining of the semester. So, in order to try to keep you off of Edgenuity, because nobody wants that, I'm going to make these videos for y'all so you can have something to follow to help you finish the last, 7 weeks of the year. That being said, if you are trying to get anything out of geometry, I will do my very best to help you. And if you're not, I simply ask you to do the bare minimum. So for those who are actually trying to get anything out of it, my room is going to be either 104 or 114. I think I'm going to be going back and forth between those two rooms. And my off period is going to be 4th and 5th. So if you're able to, if you have time, you can come to me anytime during 4th or 5th period, and I'll be able to help you. And also before school, so that works. Before school or during 4th or 5th period. Cool. So like I told you last time we were here, this next unit is going to be all about finding the volume of prisms and cylinders and other 3D shapes. This first module is going to be prisms and cylinders. All right. So let's get started. What is a prism and what is a cylinder? So a prism is any 3D shape with two bases that are connected at the vertices. So we need any 3D shape with two bases. All right. So this triangular prism is a prism because it has two bases that are triangle shaped. There's two bases, one here and one back here, that are triangle shaped. So it's going to be a triangular prism. And both of these triangles are connected by vertices. This rectangular prism is a rectangular prism because it has two rectangular bases that are connected at the vertices. This hexagonal prism, guess what? It's a hexagonal prism because we have two hexagonals that are connected at the vertices. I could try to draw. And then I didn't have a slide for this, but a cylinder is just a prism with a base that's a circle. So basically it's going to be a circle, and a line that's connected through it. So think of a Coke can. That's a cylinder. So a lot of the shapes that you're going to be seeing in your homeworks and in this PowerPoint are going to be oblique prisms. That just means they're going to be tilted. So the height that we're going to be looking at it is from the highest point to the lowest point. It's not going to be this slanted line. It's going to be from the highest point straight down to the lowest point. But yeah, oblique systems, they follow the same oblique prisms and oblique cylinders. They follow the same rules as these regular non-slanted prisms and cylinders. All right, so let's start with the most basic one. So the volume. So the volume formula that we're going to be using for all our prisms and cylinders is going to be the area of the base. So we're going to denote that by a big B times the height. So I'm going to write this in small writing. The big B is going to be the area of base. And this height is going to be, this H is going to be my height of the prism. All right, so in this first prism that I have here, first of all, what type of prism is this? That's right, it's a rectangular prism. Why? Because we have two bases that are rectangles. We have two bases, one down here and one up here, that are rectangles. So if we follow my volume formula, first we need the area of my base. So how do I find the area of a rectangle? That's right, it's going to be area is equal to length times the width. In this case, my length is 12 centimeters and my width is 4 centimeters. So the area of my base is going to be 48. Okay, now we're going to plug that into my volume formula, which is going to be, again, the area of my base times the height. So we just found the area of the base, which is 48. So I'm going to plug in 48 for my big B. And then my height is just how tall my prism is, or cylinder. My height is just how tall my prism is, so it's going to be 8 centimeters. So in your calculators, I don't have a calculator, so I need to use my phone. Feel free to grab the calculators that I think are at the front of the room. You're going to do 48 times 8, and you're going to get 384. So that's going to be the volume of my prism. Now, when we are denoting the volume of any 3D shape, we need units. My units are going to be the same units we used before, so centimeters. And then it's going to be cubic centimeters. So we're going to put a little 3 on top of our unit. So if we're doing inches, it's going to be inches cubed. If we're doing meters, it's going to be meters cubed. Just since we're doing volume, make sure you put that 3 on top of the unit. Okay. So this is one of those oblique prisms / cylinders that I was talking about. We have a slanted shape, but not to worry, it follows the exact same rules as all the other prisms. So my volume is still going to be my base of the area, area of the base times the height. In this particular problem, they give you the base of the area. I keep saying that. The area of the base, which is 81 pi. So I'm going to plug in 81 pi for the area of my base, and I'm going to multiply it by the height of my cylinder. In this case, I forgot to put it in the PowerPoint, but it's going to be 10 centimeters. So we're left with 81 pi times 10. So let me do that in my calculator. You guys can do it on your own. I messed up. Give me a second. 3.14 times 10. So that's going to be a volume of approximately 2,543.4. Now we need our units. Since we use centimeters here, we're going to keep using centimeters. But since we're looking for the volume, we're going to put a tiny 3 on top of our unit. So again, just to recap, the area of my base, in this case they give it to us, is just going to be denoted by a big B. So I'm going to replace 81 pi with my big B. And then my height is just going to be my H. So that being said, sub, please pause the video now. Let the students try it. Give them like 3 minutes and see if they can do it on their own. Cool. Welcome back. So let's do it. We're still going to use the same formula. Volume equals base times height. The area of the base times the height. In this case, they gave us the area of the base again. They said that the area of the base is going to be 75 centimeters. So I'm going to plug in 75 for my big B. And the height of my prism is once again 10 inches. Okay, 10 inches. To be honest, I don't know why this is inches. It should be centimeters. So 75 times 10. And then we're just going to multiply those out. And we're going to get 750. We got to put our units. We use centimeters on both of them. So we're going to keep centimeters. And again, since we're finding the volume, we're going to put a tiny 3 on top of the units. Simple enough. Alright, so this is more like the problems that you're going to be seeing on your homework. But it's going to work the exact same way. We're still going to use the exact same formula. Volume equals the area of the base. Volume is equal to the area of the base times the height. So the volume is equal to the area of the base times the height. Here, they don't give us the area of the base. They just give us a circle with a radius of 12. They give us a circle with a radius of 12. Fortunately for us, we've been finding the area of circles for a long time now, and we know that the formula for the area of a circle is going to be A equals pi r squared. Area equals pi times the radius squared. So all I have to do is plug in my 12 for my radius, and we can just plug that into our calculator, which is going to be 144 times pi. So after you plug this into your calculator, you're going to get 452.16. So that means that the area of my circle, that the area of my base is going to be 452.16. Now I just got to multiply that by the height of my cylinder, which according to this problem is going to be 45 inches. So when you plug that into your calculator, you get a 20,347.2. Again, we're going to write down our units, and then we're going to write our little 3 on the top of our units because, again, we're looking for the volume. Awesome. All right, let's see what the next problem is. Cool. So I'll start this one off for you, and then I'll give you a chance to do it on your own. So I put it kind of small, but you should still be able to see it. The width of the triangle is going to be 15 inches. The height of the triangle is going to be 4 inches. And the height of the prim, whatever the prim is, the height of the prism is going to be 10 inches. So the width of the base of the triangle is going to be 15 inches. So from here to here, it's going to be 15 inches. The height of the triangle is going to be 4 inches. So from the very tip of the triangle to the bottom of the triangle is going to be 4 inches. And then the height of the prism is going to be 10 inches. Sorry. 10 inches. Alright. So we are doing the same thing as before. We need the volume is going to be equal to the area of the base times the height. Big B times the height. This right here, what type of prism is it? If we go all the way back to the beginning, what type of prism is it? It's a triangular prism because it has two bases that are triangles. So we need to find the base, the area of the triangle, because that's the base. So how do we find the area of a triangle? Well, from what we learned last class, I think, the area of a triangle is going to be base times height divided by 2. This is going to be small b. Small b times height divided by 2. The base of my triangle is going to be 15 inches. The base of my triangle is going to be 15 inches. The height of my triangle is going to be 4 inches. So we're just going to plug that into our area formula, in which you get 15 times 4 is 60, divided by 2 is 30. So the base, so the area of my base is going to be 30 times the height of the prism, which we know is 10 because he gave it to us. So that means that the volume is going to be equal to 30 times 10, which should be 300. And then we won't forget, we've got to put our units. So in this case, it's going to be inches cubed. All right, I believe this is the last one. No, it's not. So we got 2 more. This one is, one second. This one is just the same question with different numbers as question 9 on your homework. This is going to be the same question as question 9 on your homework. So I believe I got this from the book. The story behind this problem. So this is supposed to represent, what happened? So this is supposed to represent a paper towel roll. A paper towel roll. You're going to have your cardboard middle that's full of air, and then you're going to have your paper towels around it. Your goal is to find the volume of just the paper towels, not the middle part. So in order to do this, you're going to find the volume of the entire thing, and then you're going to subtract it from the volume of whatever is just air of the cardboard part. So we're going to find the volume of the entire thing. Entire thing minus the volume of the air. I'm just going to leave it as the air. So we're going to do the volume of the entire thing minus the volume of the air. So in order to find the volume of the entire thing, we're going to do the same thing we've been doing the entire time. We're going to be using the same exact formula. So we're going to need the area of the base of the entire thing. We're going to call that ET times the height of ET. And we're going to subtract that by the base of the air times the height of the air. Cool. So the base of the entire thing is going to be represented by the area of a circle, because our base is going to be a circle. So it's going to be, since we know the area of a circle is pi r squared, I'm going to write that down up there. It's going to be the pi times the r of the entire thing squared times the height of the entire thing squared. I'm at a loss to you here, but all I'm doing is replacing my formulas with smaller formulas that we are more used to. So instead of using volume, I'm using base times height. And instead of using base, I'm doing the area of a circle. And we're leaving the height the same. And we're going to be doing the same on the other side. So the base of the air is going to be pi times the radius of the air squared times the height of the air. And now we're just going to plug in our numbers. So pi is just pi. And now we need the radius of my entire thing. So this is the circle. This is my base. From here all the way to here is going to be 6 inches. That's going to represent my diameter because we're going all the way across. Now, what we learned in the past is that my radius is going to be half of my diameter. So half of my entire diameter of the entire thing is going to be 3. So we're going to do pi times 3 squared times my height of the entire thing, which is just going to be 11 times 11. I'm just going to put that in parentheses so I don't get confused. And then we're going to do minus, again, parentheses so I don't get confused, pi, the radius of just the air. So we're just looking at the air now. Oops. We're just looking at the air now. The diameter of the cardboard, of the air, is going to be 2 inches. So that means that the radius of just the air is going to be half of that, so just 1 inch. So we're going to do 1 squared, and then we're going to multiply it by the height, so 11. So when you put this in your calculator, you can probably, your calculator is probably smart enough to put this all at once, but just for simplicity wise, we're going to plug it in this separately and then this separately. So if we plug this into our calculator, pi times 3 squared times 11, we're going to get 310.86. And now we're going to plug in this separately. So it's going to be pi times 1 squared times 11. And that's going to give us 34.54. So now all I have to do is subtract these two numbers, and it's going to give us 276.32 approximately inches cubed. So I said approximately because I might have rounded differently than you, and at this point I'm not really too strict. I guess I'm not gonna be too strict about how you round, whether you round at the beginning or whether you round at the end. I just want the process to be right, and this was a long process, so just do your best. For future sakes, and just so I can say that I told you so, in everything math related, you don't want to round until the very end. You don't want to round any of these numbers until the very end. Until the very end. Cool. And this problem is exactly like number 6 on your homework. So if you need help on number 6 on your homework, just come back to this part of the video and you can do it. So a cylinder with a base of a circumference of 18 pi and a height of 10 feet. So to find the volume of a prism or a cylinder, you're going to multiply the area of the base times the height. Here, they give us the circumference. So first what we have to do is turn the circumference into a radius, and then turn the radius into an area. So they tell us that the circumference of a circle is 18 pi. We know that the formula for the circumference of a circle is going to be circumference is equal to 2 pi r. Since we know that the circumference is equal to 18 pi, we can go ahead and plug in for circumference. So all I did was, instead of writing c, since I know that c is equal to 18 pi, I can just replace it with 18 pi. Now I need to find radius. So you can think of a radius as x when you're doing algebra. We need to get r by itself. So in order to get r by itself, I need to get rid of 2 pi. What is the opposite of multiplying by 2 pi? Dividing by 2 pi. So if you put this on your calculator, you're going to get your radius is equal to 9. My pi's cancel out, and I'm left with 18 divided by 2, which is just 9. Like I said at the beginning, we don't care about the radius. We care about the area of the base. So how do we find the area of a base of a circle? The area of a circle is going to be, I'm going to write it down here. Let's see if I have space. It's going to be area equals pi r squared. We know that our radius is 9. So we're going to plug in 9 for our radius. And then that should give us, plug it into your calculator, an area of 3.14 times 81, 254.34. 254.34. So that means that the area of my base, since this is a cylinder, is going to be 254 times 34. And according to our problem, our height of a cylinder is going to be 10 feet. So the height is just going to be 10 feet. So base times height, 254 times 10, is going to give me 2,543.4 feet cubed. So there you go. I did number 6 for you. Now, all you have to do is work on 16.1. Once again, since I'm not there, I'm just going to give you all of the homeworks. All of the homeworks that are going to be due for the next 2 weeks, I'm going to give them to you now. So make sure you hold on to them. I don't want to print any extra copies because that's just more time that I have to not waste, but spend. So please keep track of your copies. For now, all you have to do is 16.1. They won't be due until, today's the 4th, not today's the 5th. So they won't be due until the week of the 17th. And I'll let y'all know exactly that date closer to it. But as of now, it's going to be due the week of the 17th. All right. You guys have